Ever pulled a coin from your pocket and wondered, why does this thing have ridges? Turns out, those tiny grooves aren't decoration. They are battle scars.
Aha, Doodles.
For 300 years, empires waged war against coin clippers, criminals who shaved off precious metal and left coins smooth. The solution? A simple metal groove. But here's the twist. It didn't just stop thieves. First, picture this. It's 1696, and England's coins are literally falling apart. Every time a coin changed hands, someone took a file to the edge. By the time it reached the baker, it was half its weight. Enter Sir Isaac Newton, who calculated that up to 2% of England's coins were counterfeit or tampered with. But here's the catch. That shilling, it's pure silver. No paper money yet. Every coin is a tiny bar of precious metal. Enter the clippers. London's 17th century version of a sneaky kid with a cheese grater, except this snack was worth £100,000 a year in stolen silver. One clipper, William Chaloner, turned shaved silver into enough fake guineas to buy a mansion, until Newton turned detective and sent him to the gallows in 1699. Enter Isaac Newton. Yes, that Newton. By 1696, he's not just dropping apples. He's warden of the mint, hunting clippers in back alleys. Armed with scales and a warrant, Newton busted 28 clippers in 1698 alone. One guy tried to pay bail with a bag of his own shavings. Because here's the thing, clipping wasn't just theft. It was economic sabotage. A single clipper could debase an entire nation's currency. And Newton, he was not having it. The man who explained gravity now explained to judges why clippers deserve the gallows. Newton's answer: the milled edge, a crimped collar that turned every coin into a tiny, unshavable potato chip. Enter Thomas Simon, a genius mint worker who helped make coins with edges that were really hard to shave. Louis Roman XIV mint had a secret weapon, a rolling mill. Picture two giant steel rollers, squeezing a flat metal strip like pasta dough. But instead of fettuccine, out pops a coin blank with a perfect grooved edge. Those grooves weren't just pretty. Clip a single ridge. The coin screams thief louder than a tavern brawl. Even a blind merchant could run a fingertip along the rim and know instantly if the metal had been shaved. The clever Brits, like Sir Isaac Newton, who oversaw the Royal Mint, made sure those ridges were coin clippers' worst nightmare. The machine itself, a beast, weighing as much as a small horse, it took 3 men just to crank the rollers, but it could churn out 500 perfect coins an hour, more than a team of hammer-wielding blacksmiths could make in a week. Meet Peter Blondo, a Swiss genius who helped England mill coins, like a medieval 3D printer, cranking out perfect coins. By 1698, London's Old Bailey court records show 2,400 clippers were caught. Turns out, jail time beats a side hustle that's basically a coin-operated pencil sharpener. Today, every coin you touch, quarters, euros, yen, still carries those tiny ridges. A 360-year-old hack that outsmarted thieves, helped the blind, and saved economies. Not bad for a glorified pasta maker. Turns out, London's jails were bursting. 1698 court records show 28 coin clippers busted in 1 year, each costing the crown about £10,000 in today's cash. Enter the most unlikely hero, Isaac Newton. Yes, that Isaac Newton. Apple guy, gravity guy, and now the Royal Mint's new warden. His job? Save the pound before it collapsed. Newton didn't just tweak the design. He reinvented it. First, the milled edge, those ridges you still feel today. Then a raised inscription, Decus et tudamen, Latin for an ornament and a safeguard. But the real genius, a tiny, detailed portrait. Every clipper's snip would now leave a gaping hole in the king's face. Suddenly, defacing currency wasn't just theft, it was treason. The first test, the 1696 Vigo 5-guinea coin, one of the first struck with Newton's design. It gleamed with precision, its edges untouchable. Clippers didn't stand a chance. Newton's first arrest. A goldsmith named William Chaloner, caught red-handed with £30,000 in fake coins. That's like nabbing a crypto scammer with a garage full of Bitcoin miners. By 1698, England's currency was stable again. The pound wasn't just saved, it was smarter. And all because one man decided the best way to fight thieves wasn't with swords, but with math. That math-loving mastermind. None other than Sir Isaac Newton. Yes, the gravity guy, who moonlighted as the Royal Mint's warden and personally hunted down coin clippers like they were his homework. Meanwhile, stateside, Alexander Hamilton is pushing for a national mint to standardize currency and stop the coin chaos. So Congress does what any self-respecting revolutionaries would do. They build a mint. Philadelphia, 1792, the first U.S. Coins roll off the press. And yeah, they're fancy. The flowing hair dollar. Silver. Heavy. And here's the kicker. Engraved with 100 cents right on the edge. Because America's founders. They remembered the clippers. No ridges. No deal. These coins had grooves so deep you could practically use them as a cheese grater. And get this, they were real silver. Clip one and you weren't just stealing pocket change. You were stealing money. But here's the thing, America was new. No Newton, no Royal Mint, no centuries of trial and error. Just a bunch of guys in wig trying to outsmart history's oldest scam. America turned to a master, Benjamin Franklin's pal, Edmund Fanning, to secure their coins. By 1793, America's coins were the most secure in the world. Not because they were smarter, but because they learned. And sometimes that's all it takes. Enter Thomas Jefferson's clever tweak. Reeded edges like those on a quarter to prevent sneaky filing. The U.S. Mint started adding these ridges in 1837, and it's been a coin game changer ever since. But here's the thing, those ridges aren't about clipping anymore. Not even close. Now, coins are mainly made from metals like copper, nickel, and zinc, which are a lot cheaper than gold or silver, making them less tempting to alter. The U.S. Mint, for example, still uses these ridges to help machines identify coins, like a special coin fingerprint. Second, machines. Vending machines, parking meters. They need those ridges to tell coins apart. Those ridges also help the visually impaired identify coins, thanks to a clever system developed by the Royal Canadian Mint in the 1980s. Turns out those 119 ridges on a U.S. quarter are a precise recipe. Philadelphia's first chief coiner, Henry Voigt, baked in exactly 119 in 1792, so vending machines could spot fakes faster than you can say, "Where's my Diet Coke?" The U.S. Treasury even patented the ridge design in 1837. Talk about a coin security system that's been cashing in for centuries. Turns out, King Philip V of Spain wasn't just sitting on his throne. He hired a French engraver in 1732 to carve those ridges like a coin's first ever "do not copy" sticker. Meet the Spanish milled dollar, or piece of 8. It wasn't just a coin. It was the world's first global currency. Enter Isaac Newton, who spotted the clipped coin con and suggested a clever fix. Pirates in the Caribbean had a nasty habit of clipping coins to melt down the stolen silver, so Spain added milled edges, making it impossible to shave off metal without everyone noticing. This clever trick was perfected by master minters like Philip Naylor in London. When America launched its own currency in 1792, it copied the trick outright. Those ridges, called reeding, were the brainchild of Sir Isaac Newton, who moonlighted as Britain's warden of the mint, and basically gave coins a permanent no-slip grip for honest fingers. Turns out, Newton's ridges were just the warm-up act. By 1695, Japan's Edo period mints were already rolling out a design so bold, it made circles look like training wheels. Meet the koban, a gold coin shaped like a fat teardrop, stamped with the shogun seal. No circles here, just an oval so distinctive, you couldn't mistake it for anything else. The Tokugawa shoguns didn't just add ridges, they made the whole edge a weapon. Each koban's border was crimped like a pie crust, so even a tiny clip would leave a gaping hole. And here's the kicker. The shoguns knew feudal lords would try to cheat, so they weighed every koban before it left the mint. No ridges, no trade. For decades it worked, until 1695, when the shogunate got greedy. They debased the koban, diluting gold with cheaper metals, while keeping the same weight and ridges. The result? Economic chaos. Prices skyrocketed, merchants refused Cobans, and the shogunate's reputation took a hit it never fully recovered from. The ridges had failed, not because they were weak, but because the people in charge got sloppy. Turns out, even the best security feature can't stop human greed. But the Cobans' legacy lived on. Those ridged edges. They became the blueprint for every Japanese coin that followed, right up to the 100 yen piece in your pocket today. Meet Leonard Knox, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver who added ridges to our coins in 1837, making them harder to shave for extra metal. Before 1982, pennies were 95% copper. After, just a thin copper coat over a zinc core. The switch saved the U.S. Mint $25 million a year. But here's the catch, those ridges on the edge. They weren't just decoration anymore. Counterfeiters in Chicago noticed. They started stamping smooth-edged copper blanks, no ridges, hoping nobody would check. They were wrong. The Secret Service had a trick, Operation Penny Drop. Agents rolled coins down a ramp. Ridged ones rolled straight. Smooth ones wobbled like a drunk. By 1984, they busted a ring making $2.5 million in fake pennies. All because of those little ridges. Turns out, ridges weren't just for stopping clippers. They were the world's cheapest fraud detector. Meet William Keating, the mastermind behind reading on U.S. coins, like the 1837 Liberty Head dime. Keating's clever ridges were later added to the 1837 Liberty Head dime, and similar designs soon showed up on coins in the UK too. They are not decoration. They are not tradition. They are the last line of defense in a 300-year war against the smoothest criminals in history. In 1696, London's Royal Mint rolled out the first reeded edge, 118 tiny teeth per shilling, to outsmart coin clippers like they were swiping candy from a baby's piggy bank. Meanwhile, in 1718, master minters like Sir Isaac Newton added more ridges to stop clippers cold, like a vault door on a piggy bank. Newton's ridges were so sharp, the U.S. Mint borrowed the trick in 1793. Philadelphia's first pennies had 118 tiny teeth to stop crooks from turning your change into DIY earrings. Newton's clever trick soon crossed the pond to the U.S., where it foiled counterfeiters and kept coins honest. It all started with Sir Isaac Newton, who introduced milled edges to coins in 1695 to prevent shaving. Newton's clever move saved the Royal Mint about £250,000 a year from sneaky shavers.